All right, time is 7 o'clock. So once again, I welcome all the participants for the day 2 session of our ongoing workshop on AI-powered research workflows and generative AI tools. Once again, I welcome Dr. Monika ma'am, the resource person for the workshop. Ma'am is already there, and I'll post an update in our WhatsApp group requesting others to join. I request ma'am to kindly please take over the session. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you everyone for joining. Let us start. So, as we all know, we have started discussion on AI-powered research workflows and generative AI tools. So today is the second day of the session. So let us recap what we have covered. So today we will start our discussion with transition from literature review to research design, making use of ChatGPT and Google Scholar. So at the beginning of the day 2, we move from understanding literature to designing research. As you have already identified a research gap in AI-driven consumer behavior, specifically related to trust in recommendation systems, the objective now is to convert this gap into a structured research design. This involves defining the research problem, developing clear objectives, and identifying variables that can be empirically tested. For example, AI personalization can be treated as independent variable, consumer trust as DV, dependent variable, and privacy concerns as a moderating factor. This is an example to understand. You can replace these variables with yours. These variables must be grounded in existing literature retrieved through Google Scholar. ChatGPT will assist in structuring objectives and refining the problem statement, but all outputs must align with the academic standards. This step is critical because it transforms descriptive insights into measurable constructs, which form the basis of hypothesis testing and empirical research in Scopus indexed publications. So, you can explore the concept through caselet if you want to go through it. A Scopus index case study by Huang and Russ provides a stronger foundation for understanding the transition from conceptual insights to research design in AI-driven consumer behavior. The study examines how AI influences customer experience by categorizing AI into mechanical thinking and feeling intelligence. It defines key variables such as AI capability, that is independent variable, and customer satisfaction and trust as DV, dependent variables. The research demonstrates how conceptual themes derived from literature can be transformed into measurable constructs for empirical testing. It also highlights the role of moderating factors such as customer perception and emotional engagement. So, this paper is widely cited and serves as a model for designing research frameworks in AI enabled marketing contexts. It clearly illustrates how a research gap, that is, understanding emotional aspects of AI interaction, can be converted into structured research objectives and hypotheses, aligning with the Scopus publication standards. So, now the question arises, why is it necessary to convert a research gap into a structured design? Anyone who would like to answer based on the caselet? So basically, a research gap alone is descriptive. Research design converts it into measurable and testable components required for empirical studies. How are variables identified from literature in consumer behavior studies? So basically, variables are derived from recurring themes and constructs identified in peer review literature, such as trust, personalization, and privacy. Now let us recapitulate. The first step after identifying a research gap is, I hope you know the answer. You can either speak or you can write in the chat. First step after identifying a research gap. It is very right, sir. It is B, research design. Thank you so much. In the example, AI personalization is treated as AI personalization. I have mentioned it in the caselet. It is. Let me show you the caselet again. Now I hope you can identify. Okay. So AI personalization is treated as independent variable. Now let us perform an activity. You can try to find research, convert research gap to research objectives, right? With the objective to convert a validated research gap into structured research objectives. Now, how to do this? First, I'll explain the steps. So, you can first take a research gap from yesterday's session, such as limited research on long item consumer trust in AI, limited research on long-term consumer trust in AI recommendation systems. Then you can open ChatGPT and you can use the prompt. Convert this research gap into 3 clear and measurable research objectives in consumer behavior. Then you can review the output and then you can refine the objectives to ensure measurability, clarity, alignment with variables, and then you can cross-check the keywords using Google Scholar. Should I show you? Should I open ChatGPT and show you? Or you can do it? Please tell me, should I open ChatGPT and show as we were doing yesterday? Yes? Okay, you will do it. Okay. One response. Others, please also tell me. So first you need to define what you want to search, what you want to do. Accordingly, you need to frame your prompt. Framing the prompt is of high importance. And once you are able to do so and you are able to obtain the output, then you can refine the objectives on certain parameters. And then you can make use of Google Scholar to cross-check the keywords. Thank you. Now the sample prompt will be, now you see the prompt that we have used and now the refined prompt. So we need to refine the prompt before actually conducting the research. So that is what we have been discussing yesterday also, that how to decide which prompt to be used is a skill, and we can make use of various platforms to define the prompt. Now see, the prompt can be convert the research gap on AI-driven consumer trust into 3 specific research objectives with measurable constructs. If you write anything in ChatGPT, it will definitely give you the outcome. But it is worth, is it realistic? Is it going to help you? So based on it, you need to focus more and more and more on prompt. Now, you see, when you use this refined prompt, sample prompt, then what can be the final refined problem? For example, the problem can be impact of AI-driven personalized recommendations on purchase intention. Now you see your variables. Among Gen Z consumers, we have defined the category as we have defined the age group yesterday. In e-commerce platform, this is also the command we have given yesterday. Now, mediated by trust and moderated by privacy concerns. Okay. Just a moment, some message has flashed. Okay. So you want to know how to collect data and make analysis and how a questionnaire can be prepared, right? So basically, this is a very, very vast topic. And Bhola sir knows we conduct a separate research session or a workshop on questionnaire design where we discuss it on all three parameters of validity, sensitivity, and reliability. Validity, sensitivity, and third one is, yes, anyone? So we
Reliability.
need, pardon?
Reliability.
Yeah, reliability, validity, and third
Sensitive.
one,
Sensitive.
sensitivity. Yes, reliability, validity, and sensitivity. Yeah, this is what I was also mentioning. So this is very, very vast topic, right? So we need to have a separate workshop on it, right, ma'am? Okay, so let us continue with the workshop that we have been doing today. For this, we can make a request to sir to conduct a session and then we can have it, right? Okay. So the suggested solution can be, you can have objectives generated as to analyze the impact. Now you can frame your objectives, right? So the suggested solution can be, the objectives generated can be, now see the first line and the objective. To analyze the impact of AI-driven personalization on consumer trust in e-commerce platforms. Second, to examine the relationship between AI recommendations and purchase intention among online consumers. And third, to evaluate the moderating role of privacy concerns in AI-driven consumer decision making. And when we have refined what we observed, we found that the variables are now very much clear and are defined clearly. Objectives, now what are the attributes? Objectives are measurable now and are researchable. And these also align with Scooper's research expectations. So the outcome that we have achieved is structured research direction and foundation for hypothesis development. So now we are in a position by transition, by have undergoing transition from literature review to research design. We are now in a position to convert research gap into research design, define clear research objectives, and are able to identify key variables like IV, DV, moderating variable at least. Right? Now let us move on to the next concept for the day, that is prompt engineering for research excellence, making use of ChatGPT and Perplexity AI. So we need to use our tools and select our tools wisely, right? Now see, prompt engineering is basically a critical skill for leveraging AI tools effectively in research. Unlike traditional search queries, prompts must be structured to guide AI systems toward producing academically relevant outputs. A vague prompt leads to generic results, whereas a well-designed, see, this is the difference between a vague prompt and a well-designed prompt. So a vague prompt on one end leads to generic results, whereas a well-designed prompt produces precise and usable research content. So this is what we have been practicing since yesterday. Like first we write a prompt in one tool, one platform, then we make use of another platform to refine it, and then we make use of another platform to check the validity, and then we are in a position to obtain final prompt to be used for specific outcome which are precise and have usable research content. So there are three key techniques. First, role-based prompting assigns a specific content, such as asking the AI to act as a research scholar in consumer behavior. This is one of the approaches. Ask AI to act as a research scholar and do the work for you. What is the second approach? Chain of thought prompting. What is this and what it ensures? Chain of thought prompting ensures step-by-step reasoning, which is particularly useful for developing research problems and hypotheses. And third, iterative refinement involves improving prompts Now, this is important. Iterative refinement involves improving prompts based on initial outputs to enhance quality. And what we do, we give a prompt and we feel this is the final prompt, but basically that is not the final prompt, that is the initial message that we give to the AI model. We need to work on defining the prompts, right? So, third is iterative refinement involving improving prompts based on initial outputs to enhance quality. For example, instead of asking broadly about AI in marketing, what should we do? We should have a structured prompt that can specify variables, population, and research context. This approach significantly improves the relevance and depth of outputs. So you must treat prompt design as a research skill. Please focus. We must treat prompt design as a research skill and not just a technical input. And I hope all of you are aware that the emerging domain of engineering these days is prompt engineering. You know, people are spending 4 years to learn about prompts. So that is the buzzword and that is the trend these days. Now see, a Scopus Index study by Dwivedi et al. 2021 explores the role of AI in transforming research and business processes. The paper highlights how structured interaction with AI systems significantly improves output quality, particularly in knowledge generation and decision making. It emphasizes that AI tools are most effective when guided by clear and specific instructions, aligning closely with the concept of prompt engineering. The study demonstrated that priority defined queries lead to generalized insights. Pre- this study demonstrates that poorly defined queries lead to generalized insights, whereas structured inputs produce targeted and actionable knowledge. So, if we are not getting desired results or output, it means we need to work on prompts. We need to think deeply. We need to think some other way. And we need to focus on which AI tool or platform to be used and when and for what. And which tools to be used. You see, at some places we are using 2 tools, at some places we are using 4, and at some places we are using 3, and sometimes only 1. And how to use, what is the sequence? It again depends on the topic under consideration. There is no particular sequence, right? It depends on the need. So we need to have mastery on this. Okay. So the study demonstrates that poorly defined queries lead to generalized insights, while structured inputs produce targeted and actionable knowledge. In the context of consumer behavior research, this means that prompts must specify. Now, what should be included in your prompt? The prompts must specify variables, context, and expected outcomes. All three must be there, right? Variables, specified variables, DV, IV, moderating, mediating, if you are using. Then in which context you are conducting the research and what outcomes you expect. So the paper also discusses the importance of iterative refinement in improving AI generated outputs. The study is widely cited and provides strong evidence that structured AI interaction is essential for achieving high quality research outcomes, making it highly relevant for prompt engineering in academic workflows. Now, the question arises, how does structured prompting improves the quality of AI generated research outputs? Anyone? Answer lies in the case itself. Basically, structured prompting provides clear context, variables, and objectives, leading to more precise and relevant outputs. What is iterative refinement? Why is iterative refinement important in prompt engineering? Iterative, I hope you know. Iterative refinement allows continuous improvement of outputs by correcting and enhancing prompts based on previous responses. Now, let us see what we have undergone. Role-based prompting involves, anyone? Role-based prompting. Okay. Any other? Yes, sir, you are right. It is assigning a specific role to AI. So I really appreciate your response. Chain of thought prompting helps in chain of thought. Chain means, yes, chain of thought. Right, sir, again, step by step reasoning. Answer lies in the question itself. Now, activity time. Prompt engineering lab. That is, we need to convert a vague research idea into structured research outputs. We all have ideas coming across, but how to convert it into structured research output? For this, what you need to do? First, you can start with your vague topic such as AI in consumer behavior. See, it is very, very vast, both the terms AI as well as consumer behavior. But this is the vague idea you have. So what you can do here, please focus on this. First, you can open ChatGPT and you can use your initial prompt. What is the initial prompt you have been using for this idea? Generate research problem on AI in consumer behavior. So you have asked ChatGPT to focus on your vague idea and help you generate a research problem. Now you refine the prompt using role-based structure. So what we discussed in this, that ask the AI model to act as a scholar. So what is the prompt now? When we have refined the prompt, act as a research scholar. We are asking the ChatGPT to act like a research scholar and generate 3 research problems on AI-driven consumer trust, including variables and context. So see the difference between 2 prompts in point number 3 and 4 with the vague topic given in point number 1. Just compare. Now, further refine using chain of thought. Now you can refine this further, making use of the next type, that is chain of thought. So what will you use? The prompt, how will you use? Explain step by step how each problem can be converted into research objectives and hypotheses. Right? As we all know, we have to undergo lots of queries when we present our research. So rather than working on questions and preparing answers to those questions, please work on these at the time of conducting the research. If you are going for this much of depth, you are preparing for your viva also, and you will feel much more confident. Yes, I am ready. Anyone can ask anytime. Clear? Now you can compare the outputs, right? So the sample prompt can now be: act as a consumer behavior researcher and generate structured research problems with variables, context, and possible hypotheses. Right? So, what we are trying to say here, we have first given initial output with generic topics, then we have refined output with impact of AI personalization on consumer trust in e-commerce, or role of privacy concerns in moderating AI recommendation effectiveness, or influence of AI transparency on consumer purchase intention. Further refinement produces clear variables, IV, DV, and moderator, context. Context here is e-commerce and Gen Z. Direction for hypothesis. Then what are the outcomes that we have achieved? Now we have high quality research problems. We have structured academic outputs and we have now readiness for hypothesis development. So after this, we are now in a position to design effective research prompts, generate structured academic outputs using AI, and understand role-based and iterative prompting techniques. Now, next topic, hypothesis development using AI. For this, we will use these two tools or platforms, ChatGPT and Google Scholar. So what is hypothesis? Anyone? What is hypothesis? Basically, hypothesis development is a critical step in transforming research design into empirical testing. A hypothesis is a testable statement, okay, tentative statement, or you may say assumption, right? Thank you. A hypothesis is a testable statement that defines the relationship between variables identified in research objectives. For example, if objective is to analyze the impact of AI personalization on consumer trust, the corresponding hypothesis will state that AI personalization positively influences consumer trust. So there are different types of hypotheses, including direct relationships, mediation effects, and moderation effects. ChatGPT can assist in generating these hypotheses by structuring relationships between variables, but the researcher must validate them using Google Scholar to ensure theoretical support. For example, studies in consumer behavior literature often establish links between personalization and purchase intention, which can be used to justify hypotheses. This step ensures that the research is not only logically structured, but also empirically testable, forming the basis for statistical analysis using tools such as SPSS in later stages. Now you can see the caselet here, right? A Scopus index study for Grewal et al. 2020 investigates the impact of AI and analytics on consumer decision making in retail environments. The paper identifies key relationships between personalization, customer engagement, and purchase intention. It proposes that AI driven recommendations enhance perceived relevance, which in turn increases purchase likelihood. The study also examines mediating factors such as trust and moderating factors such as consumer privacy concerns. This research provides a clear example of hypothesis development where relationship between variables are explicitly defined and empirically tested. It demonstrates how theoretical constructs from literature can be translated into measurable hypotheses. The paper is widely cited and aligns with Scopus standards, making it a strong reference for understanding hypothesis formulation in AI-driven consumer behavior research. It reinforces the importance of linking hypotheses to validated constructs and empirical evidence. So, a hypothesis is a hypothesis is r- okay, a data table hypothesis. Just think once again. Right. It is B, a testable statement. Thank you, sir. A moderating variable is what it does. Moderating variable. What is the role of moderating variable? Anyone? Any other attempt? You can try once more. Yes. Moderating variable. Yes, it is right. Changes strength or direction of the relationship. That is the power. Now, we can work on hypothesis generation lab. That is, we can develop 3 structured hypotheses from research objectives. Again, this is a skill to be learned. Now, what we can do for this? We can use objectives from the first session today, first slide today. Like the objectives were impact of AI, personalization on trust, and impact of AI personalization on trust, and second, relationship with purchase intention. So we are taking these 2 objectives from the first slide today that we have discussed. Then we can open the chat GPT and we can use the prompt, generate 3 research hypotheses, including direct, mediation, and moderation relationships in AI-driven consumer behavior. So this is the vague idea, AI-driven consumer behavior. And now we are asking it to generate 3 research hypotheses, including all the variables, direct, mediation, and moderation relationships, right, between the variables. Now we can review the output that we got. After this, we can open the Google Scholar and verify if the relationships are supported by literature. So that is the beauty of the research, or the main aspect of the research that we need to take care of. Whatever we say or write or quote, we need to provide evidence from literature. That is why whatever output we get, we need to support it from the literature. And after that, we can verify if the relationships are supported by literature. And then if required, we can refine hypothesis for clarity and academic tone. So the sample prompt is generate hypothesis 1, 2, and 3 for AI-driven consumer behavior, including mediation, trust, and moderation, privacy. Right? So what will be the solution that we expect? What will be the hypothesis that will be generated? So the hypothesis, first one will be AI-driven personalization positively influences consumer purchase intention. Second, consumer trust mediates the relationship between AI personalization. You see, we have given 3 directions: direct, mediation, and moderation. So third is privacy concerns moderate the relationship between AI personalization and consumer trust. Now we can refine. What is the refinement that we have got? We have now clear variable relationships supported by literature and suitable for statistical testing. That is the research viewpoint. That variables and the relationships between them must be clear, must be supported by literature, and must be in a position to apply statistical tests. So the outcomes that we achieve are: hypotheses are structured, these align with conceptual model, and these are ready for empirical analysis. So after this third slide or third topic, we are now in a position to convert objectives into hypotheses, understand direct, mediation, and moderation relationships, and now we are ready with the testable research model foundation. So the final refined problem example can be impact of AI-driven personalized recommendations or purchase intention among Gen Z consumers in e-commerce platforms, mediated by trust and moderated by privacy concerns. So you must have observed that 2, 3 references are accurate and available on Google Scholar. 1 or 2 references may contain incorrect details, may be wrong journal or year, or one reference may be completely fabricated. Now, to correct the output, we need to retain only the verified references. That is why we make use of Google Scholar. We need to replace invalid ones using Google Scholar search, and we need to create a valid reference list. So the final outcome is improved citation accuracy, awareness of AI limitations, and strengthened academic rigor. So let us move on to the next topic of the day, that is conceptual framework development. Now, the conceptual framework is a critical step in research design as it visually represents the relationship between variables identified in hypotheses. It serves as a blueprint for empirical analysis and helps in structuring the research model. In this example, AI personalization is independent variable influencing purchase intention, which is dependent variable. Consumer trust act as a mediator, explaining how personalization affects purchase intention, whereas privacy concerns act as moderator, influencing the strength of relationship between personalization and trust. ChatGPT can assist in structuring these relationships logically, but the researcher must validate them using literature from Google Scholar. A well-developed conceptual framework ensures clarity in research design and simplifies hypothesis testing using statistical tools such as SPSS. So this step is essential for Scopus index research as it demonstrates theoretical grounding and methodological rigor. Now we can see the caselet or we can say the application. A Scopus index study by Giffen et al. 2003, widely cited in consumer behavior and e-commerce research, provides a strong example of conceptual framework development. The study examines the role of trust in online shopping and proposes a model where trust mediates the relationship between perceived usefulness and purchase intention. It considers factors such as familiarity and perceived risk as moderators. The research clearly illustrates how variables can be structured into a conceptual framework to explain consumer behavior. Although the study predates modern AI application, its framework has been widely accepted in AI-driven research contexts, particularly in understanding trust in recommendation systems. So this paper demonstrates how theoretical constructs can be visually and logically connected to form a robust research model. It serves as a foundational reference for building conceptual framework aligned with Scopus standards. So a conceptual framework primarily represents, yes, anyone? Please tell me. Just give it a thought and try to find. Basically, conceptual framework primarily represents relationships between variables. That is option B. A mediating variable is, what does a mediating variable do? Role of mediating variable. It explains the relationship. Now activity time, conceptual model building exercise. That is, we need to develop a visual conceptual framework based on hypothesis. For this, we can use hypothesis as we have already defined in the previous section. Then we can open ChatGPT and we can make use of the prompt. Create a conceptual framework showing relationships between AI personalization, consumer trust, purchase intention, and privacy concerns. Then you can draw the diagram manually or digitally, right? IV mediator to DV moderator affecting IV, right? That is mediator. Then validate the relationships using Google Scholar and refine the diagram for clarity. So whatever comes to your mind, just draw it and then ask the AI tool or the platform to refine it further. But before this, you need to validate the relationships with support from literature. So the sample prompt is generate a conceptual framework diagram with IV, DV, mediator, and moderator for AI-driven consumer behavior research. So the conceptual model structure will be AI personalization leading to consumer trust to purchase intention. Privacy concerns moderates AI personalization and leading to trust. Now we have clear directional arrows. logical flow of relationships, and alignment with hypothesis. And validation is supported by, for validation, we get support from literature on trust and personalization. It means for trust, you can find some separate references from literature, and for personalization, also, you can find some specific references from literature and you can cite them appropriately. So, the outcome achieved is visual representation of research model, readiness for empirical testing, and strong theoretical foundation. So now you are in a position to design conceptual frameworks, understand variable relationships and model structure, and a complete research model you have in front of you for further testing. Now, AI for research, ideation, and conceptual innovation. Basically, research ideation is the process of generating innovative and publishable research topics. In the AI era, tools like ChatGPT and Perplexity AI significantly enhance the process by identifying emerging trends and suggesting interdisciplinary connections. However, ideation must not rely solely on AI generated suggestions. It must be grounded in validated literature. The process begins with Perplexity AI to identify current trends, such as AI transparency or ethical AI in consumer behavior. ChatGPT is then used to expand these trends into structured research ideas by defining variables, context, and potential relationships. Finally, Google Scholar is used to validate whether the idea is novel and supported by existing literature. A strong research idea must demonstrate novelty, theoretical relevance, and practical applicability. So the step is crucial because of the quality of research idea that directly determines the likelihood of publication in Scopus. Now you can see the caselet here, and after that you can respond to the queries. A strong research idea must include strong research idea. Right, sir? It must include novelty and relevance. Which tool is best for discovering emerging trends? Emerging trends. We need to discover. Yes, for discovery, we can make use of Perplexity AI. Right. Now, activity time. Research idea sprint. That is, we need to generate 3 publishable research ideas. How to do this? Now we can make use of Perplexity AI and we can make use of the prompt research trends in AI and consumer behavior 24 to 26. Then note down the 3 key trends. We have discussed this yesterday. Open ChatGPT and then use the prompt. Now see the difference in the prompt. We need to incorporate 3 trends in this prompt. So the next prompt will be generate 3 research ideas in consumer behavior based on these trends with variables and context. Now you can open Google Scholar and check novelty of ideas. And then you can refine ideas for clarity and feasibility. So the sample prompt now is this one. Generate 3 novel research ideas in AI-driven consumer behavior, including variables, context, and potential research gap. So what we are trying to say here is generated research ideas impact the generated research ideas can be impact of AI transparency on consumer trust in e-commerce platforms, role of personalized AI recommendations in influencing impulse buying among Gen Zs, effect of data privacy concerns on adoption of AI shopping assistants. For validation, we can get the support by emerging literature, by identifying gaps in long-term trust and demographic focus, and the outcome achieved could be 3 structured research ideas, clear variables and context, and alignment with publications and standards. So we are now in a position to develop ability to generate research ideas using AI. skill to validate novelty using literature, and a clear direction for research paper development. Now let us move on to the next topic of the day, that is validating research idea and potential and publication potential, making use of consensus, Google Scholar, and ChatGPT. So what could be the steps that we can make use of? Why validation is critical? That is what we are trying to say here. After generating research ideas, validation is essential to ensure that the idea is publishable and not redundant. See, every idea cannot be published. A research idea must be evaluated on 4 key parameters. What are these key parameters? Novelty, feasibility, theoretical support, and publication scope. Novelty ensures that the research contributes new knowledge, whereas feasibility ensures that the study can be practically conducted. Theoretical support is verified through peer-reviewed literature using tools like Google Scholar and Consensus. Consensus helps confirm whether relationships between variables are supported by existing studies, whereas Google Scholars provide citation trends and depth of research. That is why we recommend this tool. ChatGPT can then refine the idea by identifying gaps and suggesting improvements. For example, while many studies examine AI and consumer trust, fewer focus on long-term trust dynamics, which confirms a research gap. This validation process ensures that the research idea aligns with the Scopus standards and has a high probability of publication. Right? Then we have a caselet. Then we have certain queries. Research validation ensures a research validation. It ensures, just give a try. It ensures novelty and relevance. Right. Which tool is used for peer-reviewed validation? Peer-reviewed validation. Yes. Right. It is B, consensus. Now, activity time, research idea validation lab. That is, we need to validate a research idea for publication readiness. How can we do this? We can take one research idea from the previous slide. Then we can open consensus and we can type this AI transparency consumer trust research findings. Then we can review the number of supporting studies and key conclusions. I hope you have seen yesterday that consensus provides us the number of supporting studies and the key conclusions. Then we can open Google Scholar. So we should know by using which tool what we will get and how we can make use of it in our study. Okay, thank you so much, sir. Then we can open Google Scholar and we can check the citation count and the recent publications. We prefer last 5-year publications. Note before, unless it is a base paper. Then we can open ChatGPT and we can use the prompt. Now see what to command. You say we can write, refine this research idea. This is the command or the prompt we are making use of in ChatGPT. Refine this research idea by identifying research gaps and improving novelty. So basically, we need to train the AI tool we are using. So the sample prompt is evaluate the novelty and feasibility of this research idea and suggest improvements based on existing literature. So validation findings indicate existing studies that confirm relationships between AI and trust, limited focus on long-term trust and Gen Z. Then we can have refined research idea, as I have shown you. Examine the impact of AI transparency on long-term consumer trust among Gen Z users in e-commerce platforms. So the outcomes achieved include novelty established, variables clearly defined, strong publication potential. Now you have validated and refined research idea ready for empirical study. So now we are in a position to validate research ideas using AI tools, skill to assess publication potential, and a refined Scopus ready research topic. So you see how much efforts it takes in to get the particular topic for research. Now, automated note taking and knowledge extraction from research papers, making use of ChatGPT and Google Scholar. Basically, automated note taking is crucial, is a critical capability in AI assisted research as it enables researchers to process large volumes of literature efficiently. Instead of manually reading and summarizing each paper, AI tools such as ChatGPT can extract key elements including research objectives, methodology, findings, and identified gaps. The process begins by selecting relevant research papers from Google Scholar. I have shown you yesterday. The abstract or key sections are then input into ChatGPT, which generates structured notes. However, you must validate these outputs to ensure accuracy and completeness. Final decision will be of the researcher. This approach significantly reduces time while maintaining academic rigor. For example, in consumer behavior research, multiple papers on AI driven recommendations can be quickly summarized to identify patterns related to trust and purchase intention. These structured notes can then be used to build literature reviews, conceptual frameworks, and research gaps. This step enhances both efficiency and quality in research workflows. Then we have a caselet. Now, let us review what we have discussed. AI note taking primarily helps in note taking. Helps in, just give a try. Right, sir? It is B, extracting structured insights. Which element is not typically extracted in note making? Note extracted. Right. Author's personal opinion. Now, activity time on AI note taking simulation with the objective to generate structured notes from a research paper. This is again a skill. Now, what are the steps to be performed? We can make use of Google Scholar and type AI consumer behavior trust research. Then we can select one paper and copy the abstract. Then we can open ChatGPT and use the prompt, summarize this research paper into objective methodology findings and research gaps, and then review the output and refine for clarity and accuracy. I hope you can do this. Or should I show? Yes. So the sample prompt can be convert the following abstract into structured academic notes, including objective, methodology, key findings, and research gaps. So we are now in a position to get notes generated with objective that will examine the impact of AI on consumer trust, methodology, maybe survey-based empirical study, then findings, that is personalization increases engagement and trust, then the gap, that is limited focus on long-term behavioral impact. Then we can refine it, we can ensure alignment with actual paper, and we can cross-check with original abstract. This is what we need to do on our own. Cross-checking is must. Outcome achieved, we now have structured notes, we have faster literature processing, and we have input ready for literature review. So now we are in a position to extract structured insights from research papers, skill to use AI for efficient literature processing, and we also have a knowledge base for synthesis and writing. Now, annotated bibliography and knowledge repository creation. An annotated bibliography is an essential component of academic research as it organizes literature into a structured and easily accessible format. Unlike a simple reference list, an annotated bibliography includes summaries, key findings, and identified research gaps for each study. This enables researchers to quickly understand the relevance and contribution of each paper. Using AI tools such as ChatGPT, participants can convert structured notes into well-written annotations. So you see how each slide is linked to the previous one. Now, first we have taken notes. Now we have to convert them into written annotations. However, all citations must be verified using Google Scholar to ensure accuracy and credibility. In addition, building a knowledge repository allows researchers to categorize studies based on themes such as personalization, trust, and privacy in consumer behavior. This structured approach significantly improves efficiency in writing literature reviews and ensuring alignment with Cooper standards. By maintaining an annotated bibliography, you can create a reusable academic resource that supports multiple research projects and enhances overall research quality. Now let us check. An annotated bibliography includes annotated bibliography. What it includes? Right, sir? Citations with summaries and insights. Very right. The primary purpose of a knowledge repository is primary purpose of a knowledge repository is again right, organizing research insights. Now, activity time on annotated bibliography creation. That is, we are trying to develop structured annotated references for research. Now, what are the steps to perform? We can make use of 3 or papers from previous slides. We can open Google Scholar and copy citation details. Then we can open ChatGPT and we can use the prompt. Create an annotated bibliography including citations, summary, key findings, and research gap. Please focus on each word or the group of words. Bibliography, what you want in bibliography? Annotated bibliography. Citations, summary, key findings, and research gaps. Then you review the output and verify the citations for accuracy and organize annotations theme-wise. Right? We need to organize theme-wise. Now we are in a position to generate annotated bibliography entries for the following research papers, including citation, summary, findings, and research gaps. So this is the sample of the annotation that you will obtain. This is the output, we can say. Hang and rust. Examine AI's role in service industries, highlighting its impact on customer trust and engagement. The study finds AI-driven personalization enhances consumer experience but raises concerns regarding emotional connection and transparency. The research identifies a gap in understanding long-term trust dynamics in AI interactions. So I hope this provides insights to you. So the outcome achieved is structured annotation. I hope you will agree to me that the annotation is structured, verified, citations, and theme-based organization. You now have a ready-to-use annotated bibliography supporting their research paper. Now, we are in a position to create annotated bibliographies using AI, skill to organize research into knowledge repositories, and a structured and citation-ready literature base. Now we can move on to the next concept, that is knowledge synthesis and literature review writing. Basically, knowledge synthesis is the process of integrating insights from multiple research papers into coherent and analytical narrative. Unlike summarization, which focuses on individual studies, synthesis compares and connects findings across multiple sources. The process begins by grouping studies into themes such as personalization, trust, and privacy in AI driven consumer behavior. Then, similarities and contradictions between studies are identified, which help in developing a critical perspective. ChatGPT can assist in structuring this synthesis into a well written literature review, but you must ensure that all sources are validated through Google Scholar. The literature review should not merely describe studies, but analyze relationships and identify gaps. For example, while several studies confirm the positive impact of AI personalization on purchase intention, few examine long-term trust dynamics. So now you will learn which studies you can quote for which purpose. What several studies indicate, but what few also indicate. Because we need to identify the gaps. So the gap becomes the foundation for further research. Unless and until you are able to find the gap, how can you carry the research forward? So this step ensures alignment with Scupa standards and strengthens academic rigor. Now you see, a Scopus index study by Huang and Rust provides a comprehensive synthesis of AI applications in service and marketing contexts. The paper integrates multiple studies to examine how AI influences customer experience, trust, and engagement. It categorizes AI into different types and analyzes their impact on consumer behavior. The study highlights that while AI enhances efficiency and personalization, it also raises concerns regarding emotional connection and trust. By synthesizing findings from various sources, the paper identifies gaps in understanding long term consumer relationships with AI systems. This approach demonstrates how knowledge synthesis can transform multiple research findings into a cohesive narrative. The study is widely cited and serves as a strong example of literature review writing aligned with Scopa standards. It reinforces the importance of integrating, comparing, and critically analyzing research to identify meaningful gaps. So the question arises, how is synthesis different from summarization in literature review writing? Anyone who would like to respond? Just think for a while. Basically, synthesis integrates multiple studies into a unified narrative, while summarization focuses on individual studies. So this is the basic difference. I'll repeat. Synthesis integrates multiple studies into a unified narrative, whereas summarization focuses on individual studies. Second question, why is identifying contradictions important in research synthesis? Identification of contradictions important in research synthesis. Why? What contradictions reveal? I hope you know it. What contradictions reveal? Yes? So contradictions reveal gaps and inconsistencies, which help in identifying areas for further research. Knowledge synthesis involves listing papers, combining and analyzing multiple studies, data collection, or formatting references. Right, sir? It is B, combining and analyzing multiple studies. A literature review should only summarize, only list citations, analyze and synthesize research, or avoid gaps. Right? It is C, analyze and synthesize research. Activity time on literature synthesis exercise. That is, we need to develop a 300-word synthesized literature review. Now, how can we do this? We can make use of annotated bibliography from the previous slide 8. Then we can identify three themes, like we have taken personalization, trust, and privacy. After this, we can open ChatGPT and we can make use of the prompt. Write a 300-word literature review integrating these themes with citations and identifying a research gap. See the prompt, each and every word used. Integrating themes with citations. First point. Second, identifying a research gap. Now, review the output that is generated, verify the references using Google Scholar, and refine for academic tone. So, the sample prompt can be generate a structured literature review using themes of AI personalization, trust, and privacy with proper academic tone and research gap. So the sample output is AI-driven personalization has significantly enhanced consumer engagement by providing tailored recommendations. Now see here we have cited. Studies indicate that personalization positively influences purchase intention by increasing perceived relevance. Again, on what basis? Citation. However, now because we need to focus on gap. Concerns regarding data privacy and algorithmic transparency have emerged as critical factors affecting consumer trust. Again, citation. On what basis we are saying? While existing research focuses on short-term behavioral outcomes, limited attention has been given to long-term trust. Limited attention has been given to long-term trust dynamics in AI-driven environments. So what can be the outcome or the output? I have shown you the sample output, right? So what is the outcome achieved out of this? We have thematic synthesis, we have integrated citations, and we have clear research gaps. No, sir, we cannot directly use the output because you see, these days, we are checking the plagiarism in two ways. One is the plagiarism as we check in usual and the permissible limit is 10%. But the second is AI-based plagiarism, for which in general, the limited permissible limit is only 20%, not beyond. So if we will use it as such, we will have AI plagiarism and the paper will not be accepted. So what we need to do is, for this, we need to refine, right? You see, what is the basic difference between machine and human? Humans make errors. Machine gives outputs error-free. So you can make use of AI tools again to make it AI plagiarized free, and you have to give it a command to give the output with human errors. Right? Similarly, you can refine based on your experience. Yes. Otherwise, error free means machine. Right? Okay. So after this, we are now in a position to synthesize multiple research papers. Okay, thank you so much. Skill to write structured literature reviews and identification of clear research gaps. Now, end-to-end AI-powered research workflow integration. An end-to-end AI-powered research workflow integrates all stages of research into a seamless and efficient process. This workflow begins with discovery, where Perplexity AI is used to identify emerging trends and relevant topics. The next stage is validation, where consensus ensures that insights are grounded in peer-reviewed literature. This is followed by synthesis, where ChatGPT structures and integrates findings into coherent outputs, such as literature reviews and research frameworks. Finally, Google Scholar is used for verification to ensure citation accuracy, and academic credibility. This integrated approach significantly reduces time and effort while maintaining research quality. However, it is important to emphasize that AI does not replace the researcher. Instead, it augments human capabilities by handling repetitive and time consuming tasks. The researcher remains responsible for critical evaluation, ethical compliance. Yes, another point, if we use it directly, we become unethical. We need to adhere to ethical compliance and final decision making. This workflow aligns with Scooper standards and reflects current best practices in AI assisted academic research. That is why I prefer to give caselets for better clarity. A Scooper's Index study by Davenport et al. 2020 examines how AI is transforming business processes and knowledge work. The paper highlights that AI integration across workflows significantly improves efficiency and decision making. It emphasizes that organizations adopting AI-driven workflows achieve higher productivity by automating repetitive tasks while allowing human experts to focus on strategic thinking. In the context of research, this approach translates into using AI tools for literature discovery, validation, and synthesis. The study also discusses the importance of human oversight to ensure accuracy and ethical compliance. This paper provides a strong example of how integrated workflows enhance performance and output quality. It aligns with the concept of AI-powered research workflows, demonstrating that combining multiple tools lead to better outcomes than relying on the single system. I hope I am clear now. I'll repeat. It aligns with the concept of AI-powered, thank you, research workflows, demonstrating that combining multiple tools lead to better outcomes than relying on a single system. The study is widely cited and supports the adoption of structured AI workflows in academic research. Why is it important to use multiple AI tools instead of relying on a single tool? Yes. Basically, different tools specialize in different tasks, ensuring accuracy. Yes, thank you so much for responding. Yes, better outcomes. Very right. So, different tools specialize in different tasks, ensuring accuracy, validation, and depth in research. How does human intervention improve AI assisted research workflows? Intervention, why is it required? It ensures critical thinking, validation, and ethical compliance, which machine may not be able to do. Now, the first stage in AI research workflow is AI research workflow, right, sir? It is discovery, B. Which tool is primarily used for validation? Which tool is primarily used for validation? Right, it is consensus. So I appreciate, sir, the interest you have been taking and responding. So, activity time on workflow integration simulation. That is, we need to apply a complete AI-powered research workflow. How can we do this? First, we can select the research topic such as AI-driven consumer trust. Then we can make use of Perplexity AI to identify the trends, consensus to validate the relationships, ChatGPT to generate synthesis and structure, and Google Scholar, I hope everyone knows, to verify references. So I hope now all the four tools are very, very clear here. Perplexity for trends, consensus for validating relationships, thank you, ChatGPT for synthesis and structure generation, and Google Scholar for reference verification. Then we can document each step and integrate outputs into a workflow diagram. And this is the message that sir has given. What is the focus area of the workshop? So we are adhering to it. So create us as what will be the sample prompt? Create a step-by-step AI-powered research workflow for studying consumer trust in AI systems, including tools and outputs. Now, what will be the workflow output? See, discovery, validation, synthesis, and verification. So, see the sample here, discovery, trends identified. What are the trends? AI trust and personalization. As per the example we have given since beginning, we have taken since beginning. Validation, literature confirms relationships. That is why it is important. Synthesis, structured literature review that we have generated. Then verification, we have got references validated, right? So I hope it is clear now. So the outcome that we have achieved is, thank you, integrated research pipeline, efficient workflow, and Scopus aligned research process. Now you have a complete AI assisted research workflow ready for implementation. So now we are in a position to integrate multiple AI tools into one workflow, understand end-to-end research process, and a complete AI-powered research pipeline. Now, mini literature review creation, AI-assisted final writing, making use of ChatGPT and Google Scholar. Now, at this stage, participants will convert their synthesized knowledge into a structured mini literature review, which is a critical component for any research paper. The process begins by organizing insights from annotated bibliographies and thematic analysis into a coherent narrative. The literature review should start with a brief introduction to the topic, followed by thematic discussion covering key areas such as AI personalization, consumer trust, and privacy concerns. Each theme must be supported by evidence from peer reviewed studies retrieved through Google Scholar. The writing must go beyond summarization and include critical analysis, highlighting similarities, differences, and contradictions across studies. The review should conclude with a clearly defined research gap that aligns with the research objectives and hypotheses developed earlier. ChatGPT can assist in structuring and refining the content, but all references must be verified manually. Please note, must be verified manually. This ensures academic integrity and alignment with Scopus publication standards. Now we have a caselet. A Scopus index case study by a Scopus index study by Amin et al. 2021 examines the role of AI in shaping consumer trust and adoption in digital environments. The paper integrates multiple studies to analyze how AI-driven personalization influences consumer behavior, while also raising concerns about privacy and transparency. It highlights that trust is the key determinant of consumer adoption of AI technologies, particularly in e-commerce platforms. The study identifies significant research gaps related to long-term trust dynamics and the impact of demographic factors such as age and digital literacy. This paper serves as a strong example of well-written literature review, whereas multiple sources are synthesized into a coherent and analytical narrative. It demonstrates how thematic structuring and critical analysis contribute to high quality academic writing. The study is widely cited and aligns with Scopus standards, making it an ideal reference for participants developing their own literature review. So, why must a literature review include critical analysis and not just summary? So, this is something we need to understand. Literature review does not mean only summary, but we also need critical analysis of it. Why? Yes, please. Basically, critical analysis integrates findings, identifies patterns, and demonstrates academic depth. How does a clearly defined research gap strengthens a research paper? It justifies the need for the study and guides research objectives and hypotheses. A literature review should primarily, yes, literature review, right, analyze and synthesize. The final selection of a literature review should include final section of literature review should include, right, research gap. Activity time, mini literature review writing lab. That is, we can develop a 300-word literature review using AI tools. So we can make use of themes from slide 9, then annotated sources from slide 8, then open ChatGPT and write the prompt. Write a 300-word literature review on AI-driven consumer behavior using themes of personalization, trust, and privacy with citations and research gap. Then review the output and verify references using Google Scholar and refine the academic tone and clarity. So the sample prompt is generate a structured literature review with academic tone, thematic integration, citations, and a clear research gap. Now you see sample literature review output with citations, right? So the outcomes achieved are structured academic writing, integrated citations, and clear research gap. Now we have the ability to write structured literature reviews using AI, skill to integrate multiple sources into a coherent narrative, and a publication-ready literature review section. Now the last topic of the day, final research paper output and integration making use of ChatGPT and Google Scholar. This final step integrates all outputs generated throughout the workshop into a complete research paper structure. You have already developed key components, including research problem, objectives, hypothesis, conceptual framework, and literature review. The task is now to organize these components into a formal academic structure aligned with Cooper standards. The paper begins with a clear and concise title, followed by an abstract summarizing the research paper purpose, methodology, and expected findings. The introduction provides content, context, and justification for the study, while literature review presents synthesized insights and identifies the research gap. The methodology section outlines how hypotheses will be tested, including data collection and analysis methods. ChatGPT can assist in structuring and refining the document, but all references must be verified using Google Scholar. This integrated output represents a strong foundation for a publishable research paper and demonstrates the effectiveness of AI-powered research workflows. Right? A research paper must include a research paper, right, structured sections like introduction, review, and methodology. The purpose of abstract is to, right, summarize the research. Activity time, final research paper integration lab, that is, we can develop a complete structure research paper draft. For this, we can compile outputs from all the slides of today and yesterday. Based on focusing on objectives, hypothesis, and literature review, then we can open ChatGPT and use the prompt. Integrate the following components into a structured research paper with title, abstract, introduction, literature review, and methodology. Then review the output and then verify references using Google Scholar and refine the academic tone and coherence. So the sample prompt will be create a complete research paper draft using the provided research components with proper academic structure and citations. So this is the sample output summary. See, title, AI-driven consumer behavior study, abstract, overview of research purpose and findings, introduction, that is context and research gap, literature review, that is thematic synthesis, methodology, survey-based, empirical, hypothesis, outcomes achieved, complete structured paper, integrated research components, and ready for empirical validation. So, the research gap that we have identified is lack of research on long-term trust dynamics in AI-driven consumer environments. So, we are now in a position to develop a complete mini literature review, integrate AI-assisted research outputs, and a strong foundation for full research paper developments. Right? So, I hope this is sufficient. Right? Any queries? If you have, you can ask. Otherwise, let me show you one more thing that you have asked yesterday. For this, let me share the screen with you. I hope, sir, you asked for dimensions.ai yesterday? Yes?
Madam. Yes, you are right.
Basically, might be the screen was shared. That is why it might not be working, because after the session, when I opened, it started.
Okay.
There was no gap. Might be because of shared screen. So let me log in first and then I'll share. Just give me a minute.
Sure, madam. Sure.
Yeah. That is why I was trying, because this is very, very important tool for literature review. And when we conduct workshop on systematic literature review and bibliography, we make use of dimensions.
Yes, madam. Last time I tried, madam, but I couldn't get the data. That's why I was asking.
Okay. Let me show you.
Yes.
If it will open today. Yes, it is opened. Yes. Now let me share the screen first. Then I'll show. Entire screen. I hope you are able to see.
Yes, madam. Yes.
Let me see what you are able to see. Just a moment. So this one. So I have simply logged in. And this is the home page of dimensions.ai, right? And now you can use this search. So what do you want? AI?
Social.
Yeah, please tell me.
Social cohesion and sustainable development nexus.
Social cohesion.
COHESION.
COHESI cohesion and
sustainable development.
Sustainable development. Right. So you need full data?
Yeah, abstracts and
Title and abstract only?
enough.
Okay. Let us see if we are able to get the results. Now see how many publications we got. 3761, 14 data sets, 532 grants, 2 patents, 9 clinical trials, and 1 policy documents. So now you can refine it further, making use of publication year and other parameters. Suppose I take last 5 years as I was. Now see the number of the papers per year.
Yes,
in 2026 only, these are 395. So if we take it for last 5 years, right? Yes. I hope now you understand and you know how to make use of dimensions.ai.
Yeah.
Right? So you can now see the number has reduced further. Right?
Is that articles from Scopus or Web of Science or what? How
yes.
Do that?
Okay. How do we get it? Just a moment. See. Journal list.
Okay.
Let us see. Now see the journals. You must be aware of the journals you are looking for. Or you can type the journal. See, here they have mentioned category UGC journal list group 2. Group 2 comprises of Scopus. I hope every one of us knows. Right? Group 2 means Scopus only. Scopus and Web of Science. So now see the number has reduced to 595.
Exactly.
Right? So this way we can limit. and we can obtain and we can export. Then you can see publication type. Sometimes we do not want articles or see chapter. We do not want sometimes edited books or monograms or chapters. So we are only looking for articles, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this way you can refine and then you can export. Also, there is one more feature here in this tool. That is, it gives you the outcome also. Now see, save or export. Export results or save as favorite. You can get the results from here. You can further refine. Now, what we do in systematic literature review is, whenever we are making use of any filter and the number is getting reduced, we have to note down each and everything for inclusion exclusion criteria.
Yes,
Now
ma'am.
see, it is giving the graphs also. See here, publications total, right? So it is defining the things here on different parameters. How many citations? So you can select papers based on citations also and mean of citations, right? So similarly, you have other categories here.
Sure, sure.
I hope you got the answer what you were looking for yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. I got it.
And we are using free account only. See, this is one more thing I would like to add. Should I stop?
Yeah. Stop, President. No problem.
Thank you. So one more thing I would like to add, that we have ample tools we can make use of without paying anything. Even for Google's this one ChatGPT, if your tokens get over, you can make use of different email IDs. But please do not pay for these tools. Right? I think this is sufficient.
Yeah, thank you so much.
We are able to cover up, and I hope now you are in a position to make use of the tools for the quality research.
Exactly. You are right.
Thank you so much, sir. Anything, any feedback you would like to share?
Yeah, we have learned so many things from since yesterday's session, madam. And I thoroughly enjoyed the session personally. I got so many inputs for my further research. But currently, I'm working on a bibliometric analysis.
Great.
Even for that also, I got so many inputs from you in the form of prompt engineering and other issues.
Okay.
Formats, structure prompts I heard learned from your session, madam. It is thoroughly engaging, madam. Thoroughly enjoyed the session. Seriously. Thank you so much for
any other topic you are looking for in future?
Yeah. If you are okay, we will work for collaboration also, madam.
Okay.
Yeah.
What kind of collaboration?
Yeah, like research collaborations, madam.
Okay.
Yeah, research collaborations. If
Okay.
Professor sir permit us, definitely we'll work on collaborations.
Yeah, I am added in the group by sir. You can discuss with me.
Sure, madam.
And we can work further.
Sure, madam.
Yeah. Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable inputs. I also, the presence of, scholars like you make the session engaging and meaningful. Thank you for your active participation and response throughout the session for both the days.
Yes,
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
All the best for your research, your degree.
Thank you so much.
Over to Bhola sir now.
Thank you, ma'am, for the wonderful session yesterday and today. On behalf of MTC Global family, I extend our heartfelt gratitude to all the participants and the resource person, Dr. Monika ma'am. Thank you for your participation, and you will receive your e-certificate in your email by this weekend definitely. Thank you, and once again, please keep in touch. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for organizing such
Thank
kind
you,
of
sir.
insightful sessions.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
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 Bye.
Thank you.